culture in the sales team that you created? What was the culture that you instilled in the sales team? And how did you manage to get a team where, the team worked so well cohesively, helping each other along the way?
I think commonly I've seen a few bosses in my life. I've seen other bosses around me. A lot of people are insecure in their lives. Okay, about their so if a boss is insecure, he will never give freedom to people in his team because he is worried that one of the better guys in his team may kind of overthrow him, or become the boss or whatever it is. So a lot of times that actually kills the entire, the entire feel good of the team or the morale. So if I was very insecure, I would never want my regional heads or zonal heads or city heads or others to come up in line. I would always show them down, so to say, because I wanted to look good. I think I never had the insecurity. Okay, one. Secondly, I think the entire team, the sales team, was hired by me. So there were people who had that you know uh, connection from day one, so to say, where that we were hired by Emron. So there was some kind of a connection that went with. Secondly, I think the biggest thing that a lot of organizations have and that we didn't have was politics. And I don't know whether you guys remember, but I used to say that if you guys want politics here, you better join some political party and not Standard Chartered. So I think we killed it there. And a lot of things in life, if you say it upfront, clear, without any ambiguity, people take it the way it is. And see, human beings are very flexible. So you try to be political, they'll also be political. You try not to be political, and you are very very clear on what you are, they will be. And see, some of them would have been, but maybe you killed it in the first instance, saying कि ये यहाँ पे नहीं चलेगा. So people never uh, tried that. Some of them who probably didn't like it left us and went away. For fair enough, you know. So I think the insecurity part, and to ensure that the political there was no bickering. Other thing was that there was a little bit of healthy competition, and I always believed that was healthy. But yes, there was no cutthroat competition. So if there were two people in Calcutta, which you guys were, no one tried to kind of the other guy. Secondly, if you remember, we broke the market in such a manner that you guys were not stepping on each other's toes. Okay, so I think it is a combination of that comfort, uh, letting that person feel comfortable and not insecure, and both of them managing both of them, fairly well. Again, different individuals are built differently, so also to manage them, one is maybe more emotional, the other one is not very emotional. So you also have to manage those things uh, very well. But yes, I think finally what boiled down the entire thing was to the numbers and targets. So at the end, your reviews were done on numbers and targets, but the entire journey that you went through with the team was similar to both those guys in that particular market. So to give you an example, and what I also believe, that respect is earned. So respect cannot be demanded. Respect is always earned. So over a period, I think whether it was Nawal, Rajiv, and myself, we came there as a helping hand to you guys. So wherever you thought uh, you could break in, or you had difficulty in breaking in, whether it was distributors, whether it was corporates, or whether it was whatever IFAs, we stepped in to see we could help you with our heavier calling card, maybe better, a little bit more knowledge, because from the background that we came in, maybe a different way of explaining. Not that all the time we were also successful, but let's say you had 5 difficult clients and we could convert 3 of them. I think that's how respect was earned, so to say. And then, of course, you keep on doing that. And we never ran away from any responsibility, and we took up saying if we failed, we all failed as a team. We did not put it on the team saying that you guys failed. Okay, so it was a collect. So success was uh, by the team, failure was by the team. It was not success is mine and failure is yours. I think those are kind of things that worked in our favor.
Yes, Emron, I remember as a team, we used to always look at the leadership team, which was you, the country head for sales, the investment head, as well as the managing director and CEO. We always looked at you all as our backbone and support. We never really looked at you all as bosses who were sizing us up to review us and rate us on our performance. So, and I remember for any distributor who we could not break, we would turn to you all and ask for help and say, can you please come down to the market and, make an entry and convert this distributor, convert this client for us, corporate client for us. The other thing I remember, Emron, is you all would pick up people from all walks of life. So when I joined you in the sales team, I had very little knowledge of financial services. I didn't even know I had selling skills. Honestly, I didn't know that. I didn't know I was a salesperson. But you all, through a process of training and through a process of upskilling us in our journey, ensured that we were very, very good at our jobs and we were competent to the extent that, the Standard Chartered Mutual Fund team uh, in the early 2000s was regarded as one of the best sales teams that the mutual fund industry could ever have, and people still speak about it. Emron, what were the processes that you all followed? Because I believe in any company, training, upskilling, ensuring that people are competent is very, very important, and it's a continuous process. Which is why, related to that, you didn't speak about skill sets when you're hiring young people with 3 to 4 years experience, because you all knew that you all would give that training. Can you speak a little about how you upskilled and trained, and what was the calendar? What was the plan behind it?
I think there I must say that Standard Chartered, earlier ANZ India and then Standard Chartered, and I think that is very true with most of the foreign banks, had a very robust training process, and they would actually train you from soft skills to your hard skills, so to say. Where and as a salesperson, we realized your biggest ammunition was product knowledge. Okay, if you knew your product well, I think no one could shake you or push you away. And if you remember, we used to say that every day morning when you call up your customer, you can't be begging him for money. It will sound as begging. I mean, only for money. You should see he knows why you're calling, right? A customer doesn't need to be told why you're calling. He knows why you're calling, but you don't need to be very upfront about it. So if you can add value to him every morning by giving him some knowledge about the market. It can be equity market, it can be debt market, it can be forex, it can be government of India securities, whatever. I'm saying what I mean is if you can add to his knowledge, okay, you may tell him 5 things. He may be aware of 3 or 4 things. But if you can even add that one more thing, and if you could, really feel that, oh, so this person, rather than calling me up in the morning and asking only for money, is actually trying to add value to me, is that is how you could get his share of mind and share of wallet. So I feel apart from soft skills, which is your typical meet, greet, grooming, and all that you guys used to go through. My feeling is the product knowledge was very, very important. I must credit Standard Chartered HR for getting us through. I don't know whether you remember, but all of us, including the last guy on the sales team, had to go through a training program called Be a Talented Manager.
Yes.
Okay, and you guys, some went to Singapore, someone went to Dubai, someone
I
went
went
to
to
Thailand,
Dubai.
someone went
Yes.
exactly. And I don't know whether you remember, but you and I also went to Sydney
Sydney.
with
Yes.
with some of the other guys for training to,
Yes.
I think, the Sydney International Finance School. So I think those kind of practical trainings. We also went to a lot of IM trainings, if I
Yes.
remember.
Yes.
Those skill sets were also on how to be a good leader, how to be a good salesperson, how could you communicate better. Because I remember some of the trainings were communication skill trainings. So I think that entire training process was very, very important. But yes, I still feel the number one training, which is the product training, by which you had a good understanding of what you were selling, made you more confident also about selling. Because if you were asked questions and if you kept on saying, I'll come back, I'll come back, I'll come back, you lose confidence, and you don't look very, very good in front of the client. So I think we ensured that you guys had enough ammunition to manage any client on any question that you would ask.
That's right. Yeah, Imran, and I really like this point that you made, that for a salesperson, what is extremely important is to add value to the client. Otherwise, how will you engage your client? How will you differentiate yourself from other Me Too products in the market? And that is something I think the senior leadership team ensured that the sales team was constantly being fed with trainings. In fact, every Monday we used to have a morning training call, fed with
Correct.
trainings to add value to the customers who we speak to. And honestly, our customers used to look forward to us coming because they knew they would gain something when we sat across the table. And you're right,
Correct.
the salespeople were not taught to beg, they were just taught to add value. So the footing with the customer was equal. It wasn't, I'm asking you for something, it was the sales team's
Correct.
approach of, I've come here to give you something, to give you my knowledge so that you can do your work
Correct.
better. So, yes, I love that approach. Emron, another beautiful thing that you did as a sales country head was you managed to retain your team for that entire 10 years. I think the retention, the attrition would have been less than 2%. And your team was always motivated, charged, you retained your best talent, and everybody knew that no matter what salary you threw at the sales team, at the Standard Chartered sales team which you headed, you could not pull a salesperson from the Standard Chartered sales team, no matter what the salary was. How did you manage to do that? What was that individual relationship? What was that team relationship that you had with the sales team to ensure that the full team was there for 10 long years till eventually, of course, the company got sold itself? So, if you could share a little bit of light on how you managed your salespeople.
So people did try to poach many of us, including myself and you and others. There were many people who were ready to pay probably much more than what we earned. And there were some people in the team who also got a little shaken by those offers and did also come to me and spoke to me about it. So I sat them down, or I used to sit them down and say that, what is the reason you are going? If it is only for money, I have absolutely no argument against you, and you should leave because it's only for money. But please understand what you have here, what are the comforts that you have here, see the kind of, uh, you know, uh, the kind of support you have. So I think please understand, money can only buy things, but can it give you that satisfaction? You don't know. That you will only have to experience. Okay. So wherever he or she was going, okay. First of all, just to answer the first part of the question, I will want to say that I think the same thing, that people were not feeling insecure. People actually felt secure in the organization.